Hello, you guys. Hello. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. I haven't even talked to you all week. Bad daughter. Hola, amiga. Hello, you guys. Hello. Welcome to the final Friday Night Live of 2024. I said, what's up, Dara? What's up, Angie? I said, this is my final Friday Night Live of 2024. I'm going to take some time and I am going to rest because a girl's tired. And today I really had to muster enough energy to come here. It feels like I should be having music playing behind me. I don't know what that's about. But I had to muster up enough energy to come on live tonight because, baby, when I tell you, me and my girls, me, Alum, and Michelle went to a traditional Mexican temazcal. And when I tell you I am wore out, I think I need to turn my fan on. I am, hey, lady, I am so exhausted. Like when I tell you it drained all of the energy that I thought I had out of my body. So I just took 2 shots of B12 um, just to get some energy. And then I'm also drinking water with Celtic salt in it, which hydrates you from a cellular level because it has magnesium in it. So anyway, I'm trying to get up enough energy. I'm so it's, what? So the streets called and I answer. What I say? What happened? What I miss? Anyway, y'all, I want to talk about the Temescal before we get started. So the Temescal was beautiful. It was done by someone here in SMA. She's born and raised in San Miguel de Allende, and it was absolutely beautiful. We sat, she cleansed us, and we prayed, and then we sat in the yurt. I think that's kind of what it symbolizes, but it's made of brick. Fortunately, it had water on the inside, so we were able to kind of offset some of the heat. But baby, when I tell you, being in there 45 minutes, and then we, exfoliated our skin um, with volcanic ash and coffee, and then rehydrated our skin, and then afterwards we took a shower, individually took a shower, and then baby, when I tell you her daddy rubbed on me, so tired. I'm so tired. But it was such a wonderful experience. And I hate that it's taken me so long to have this experience because Michelle has been saying, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. And there are so many women, Black women, who come in and out of SMA who experience this Temescal. And I'm so glad that I finally got to have the opportunity to experience it. And my kids come into town. Well, the youngest comes into town next month. And so I'm going to take Mo and her auntie Jessie, and we're going to do this experience together. But then I was thinking, I was like, wait a minute, girl. Me and Alan were talking. Yes, Papa got the child. Honey was like, you let some old Mexican man rub on you? Like, yes. I'm so tired. I let that old Mexican man rub me down. And oh, Michelle, I forgot to tell you, he massaged my head when I so he like did behind my ears, and when my ears are massaged, I get so relaxed. I get so relaxed. And then he went and he child. Anyway, so needless to say, your girl is tired. But as my commitment got, but when I tell you, he was rubbing. But and then afterwards, she fed us some fruit, which was so amazing because I was exhausted. It's like all of the toxins are just like stripped, but along with your energy, completely stripped out of your body. And she fed us fruit. We had watermelon and apples, and she just kept bringing us watermelon, as we know, which is hydrating fruit. And so I ate so much watermelon, and I hadn't had watermelon in a long time, but it's just because it hasn't been sweet to me. But this one was really sweet, and it was good, and it was perfect because that sugar was back in my system, and it gave me more energy, also hydrated. But then I came home and took a shower, and got into bed. And I literally just woke up. Hey, Auntie. Y'all, this is my auntie. So I just wanted to have a conversation with you guys. And I want to do a check in first. How are you guys doing since last week? Good evening, Kimmy. How are you guys doing since last week? I know emotions have probably settled and people are trying to navigate themselves as far as how they're going to deal with what's next. And I don't want to belabor the point with the what's going on in the US and the elections, but one of the things that I see, and you guys can tell me and drop in the comments and let me know, is people are moving in fear. They are like, oh my God, it didn't go the way that we thought. So now we got to, exit immediately. And so, oh yes, Iona, oh my God, I'm going to see you soon. I'll see you in Oaxaca. But yes, I know you experienced it. And I said, well, so you know what I'm talking about. Like, focus, Tracie, focus. I know I have an attention span of a gnat. But yes, it was an amazing experience. So you absolutely understand. Hey, Marion. Hola, lady. How are you? So, hey, girl. Hey, how tired are you? So, Alan is exhausted. Michelle is still in the bed. We's tired, boss, but we here. See, still in the bed. Ciao. Anyway, but I want to know, like, one of the things that I've seen in, I know, can't wait either. One of the things, hey, Carla, I know you got, oh, wait. Y'all writing fast. I can't catch up now. You have the link too, Carla. So join from that one in a few minutes. So anyway, one of the things that I see and I want to talk to people about is moving expeditiously out of fear. And what I've seen lately in the last week or so, and I try not to make this channel so much focus on the move abroad journey, although I am a full advocate of getting out of the United States for your mental sanity and for your emotional wellness and for your nervous system. And just for safety for Black and Brown people, primarily, well, let me just take that out. Safety for Black folks, because it's just not a safe place for us. So with that being said, I want people to think about, if this is something that is on your trajectory, how to begin to execute a plan that is not based and steeped in fear. And so with that being said, it should not matter who is in head office. It should not matter. What we really should be concerned about is the policies, the systems that are in place, the things that affect your day-to-day life and that make it an unsafe place to be or a hard place to be. One of the things too that I do not like about the United States is the fact that it's such an individualism-based country and there is an epidemic of loneliness. So when people come to SMA and you guys see us on camera, you see the camaraderie that we have, you see the love and the sisterhood and the respect that we have for one another. And oftentimes when people come here and they experience that, they say, well, I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. I say, yeah, but you were an introvert in the States. But when you come here, it brings out the other side of you. This is the birth or the rebirth of you that you were seeking, to be out in community, to be in community, to live your life to the fullest. And one of the things that I know, and having for me, are you speaking to me? Yes, darling. Yes. Well, you're still kind of somewhat of an introvert, but you still be kind of sort of out in them streets a little bit. But what I want for people is crafting a well executed plan. When we left the United States in 2023, I started planning as far back as 2015. And this is not something that is a quick process. I've seen people say how to get out of the United States in X amount of days. And I'm like, this is just not realistic. And the reason why is because it's not sustainable. It's like, is you guys are wavering. It's creating a system of, or an energy of, oh, I'm gonna move this way when somebody's in there that I don't like, but then I'm gonna come back when I'm okay with who's in office. It should not be about that. And it's not sustainable, it's not realistic. And so my plan in 2015 was I wanted the ability to be able to work from anywhere in the world. I wanted the ability to be able to work from anywhere in the world. And you are looking at somebody who the field that I was in was in person. The field that I was in was direct, to client services from me, and my physical body had to be there. But when I knew back in 2015 I wanted to live a life abroad and not live in the United States, I started transitioning my work online. And you guys hear me talk a lot about monetizing your expertise, writing down the things that you are good at or the things that you really enjoy talking about. If you could talk about something for a good 20 to 30 minutes straight, you can actually teach that something for 20 to 30 to 45 an hour straight and be compensated for it. And so what it does is it creates revenue streams for yourself, and it puts you in a position of authority and of being a leader or a thought leader in your said industry. And this is what I want people to think about, is how you can begin to work online, monetize your skill set if it's something that brings you absolute joy. One of the things that I do see when people move abroad is their entrepreneur bug or light bulb goes off, and they're able to begin to think of creative revenue streams. Gone are the days of trying to monetize yourself or working in one field and that being the only field that pays you. If you are good, like I can cook, but I hate it. I'm to the point now where I hate it. I actually have a culinary degree, but I don't want it no more. I want to be cooked for. But if I need to pull that cat out of the bag, guess what I will do? I can pull that cat out of the bag. And one of my expertise, I was talking to one of my clients was it yesterday. And because I have a skill set in wellness, I can actually get a diet plan together for people with specialized diets. And that just so happens to be one of the things that I can pull out of my bags. So as you guys are sitting here, I really want to encourage you to, hold on a second, let me pull this up. I don't know, okay. I just wanted to make sure I'm not missing a message. I really encourage you guys to think about the things that you can move abroad with. Right, you would have never known, yes, child, from one of the most prestigious culinary institutes in the world that I don't even talk about. But start with your plan, create. Think about the things that you can monetize on. And there's so many ways. There's so many ways that you can begin to get in your bag before you leave. And these are the things that can help propel you to the next level and layer in your life. And this is a part of like creating a really good, strong exit strategy. So when I work with my clients, one of the things that I do is I'm listening between the lines. I'm looking at them from a holistic perspective. I'm looking at them as they are, where they're coming to me and the things that they want to work on, but also where they want to go. And then as they're talking and we're getting to know each other in the consultations, I'm listening to other things that bring them joy and that they can monetize on. And they not even know that I'm doing this, but I'm thinking about various streams of revenue that can be monetized on. And I do this for a reason. I love it, but I also want people to, especially women, especially Black women, because I want us to be able to win. And I understand how hard that it is. Now, when you start moving abroad, there are things that you have to set in place, like residency and like visa processes. And people are really jumping the gun. And I'm looking at all of these expat groups on Facebook, and I'm like, it's excellent for people who are in the relocation business, but honestly, how sustainable is it for these individuals? And then someone dropped in one of my comments and they created a scenario that was like, well, this is my circumstance and how can I move abroad expeditiously with this level of baggage that I have in my life? And I didn't even comment because it was like, I wanted to say, girl, that ain't even possible. That is not even possible. But I also feel that people are not doing their level of due diligence either. I think people they want, yes, darling, they want to be spoon fed. They want you to tell them the right way. And there really honestly is no right way. There are ways to do things and get things done and check things off your list that you must complete. However, you have to create the right way for yourself based upon your particular desires, lifestyle, and goals. But I wanted to check in with you guys before I bring my guest on, because to me, she is somebody who really exemplified having a well executed plan, and because of her well executed plan, she was able to move extremely quickly in the things that she wanted to do and accomplish in her scouting trip. And I think that the more information people have and the more they take this good information and put it to use, a lot of times there's a paralysis analysis, a lot of times there's a failure to launch, a lot of times is we're not moving because we're afraid, not understanding that fear is just a part of the process that you got to be able to walk through, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel because so many people have done it before you. So hold on a second, you guys. What is going on? Okay, hold on, y'all. Okay, so it's about exercising and taking heed to the information that's out there. Another thing that I see that really pisses me off is a lot of people want information for free. A lot of people want information for free, and they not understanding how much you had to pay to acquire to get the information. And what do I mean by pay? It could be either your area of business or expertise, but also in my particular case, we scouted 8 different cities in the United States, in Mexico, before we settled on our ninth, which was San Miguel de Allende. And those were very expensive trips. It wasn't that stuff wasn't free. So that was an investment that we put into our future. And a lot of times people want to, well, tell me how to do this. Well, before how do I? And if you are a person who is doing that, first of all, stop. There is a ton of information out there on YouTube and that you can begin to really craft your plan. But if you want to work with and or partner with or gain a level of information for somebody who has either done it before you or it is their level of expertise, make sure that you compensate somebody. Child, let me tell y'all something. I had somebody tell me this ain't even about the subject, but I'm bringing this to a point. Somebody told me in one of my, it wasn't even a comment. They sent me filled out a form on my website in the contact form, and she's said something about wanting to move abroad. And this is somebody that I've known from Oakland, and she said, I'm looking at your membership collective because I have a leadership collective for women in business. And she said, and I'm looking at the price, and it's like, girl, this is her talking to me about my shit. And I didn't even reply. I'm like, wait a minute, what? One of the things that you do not want to do is actually question a Black woman and question a Black woman and what she charges. Because we don't take that same principle to anybody else or any other business. There's always the Black women who get questioned, or the Black women who's questioning other Black women who should you be charging X, Y, and Z. And the reason why is because, hold on, child, one of my kids is calling. Is because you don't feel competent enough to charge that for yourself. And this person is an entrepreneur herself. And this person is an entrepreneur herself and has been in business for herself always, that I have known her. And it's not my fault that you feel that your craft or what you offer is not worthy of more. However, I know what I bring to the table, and I know how much I invest into people. And as a result, don't come questioning me about shit, because you don't know me like that. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So, and when you guys run across people like that, just understand that they are not your desired clientele. They are not your target audience. They are not the demographic that you want to serve, because you ain't even seen my highest price package. You haven't even seen my highest price offer. So if you jumping at that, you really ain't ready for this. All right. So without further ado, I want to bring you guys to join me in welcoming Carla here to join me today. Hey, lady. How are you?
I'm doing good. Back stateside, but I'm still cool. Still
So
writing an SMA high.
I know you are. I know you are. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, making sure you are. So, you guys, Carla is one of my clients, but one of the things that I absolutely love about Carla is she is a woman on a mission. And I think she takes mission to a whole different level because if you tell her to do something, not only is it done, it's done expeditiously. And so, Carla, you just left here, and how was your experience? And then I want to talk about when we first started working together some months ago, how where you were in your plan.
Yeah. Yeah, so SMA was absolutely beautiful. I will say I have to give a lot of credit though to Tracie, just because when I started working with her, she, you really laid out for me what to expect. And I think that made the trip even more special. And I was really able to kind of just walk into SMA as if I had some level, excuse me, of familiarity, even though I hadn't been there. And so I kind of knew what to expect, what to do. I even knew about the church. I mean, so, and then redefining life abroad, I attended that. And so even that wealth of knowledge was helpful. So I will say, I think you guys, you and then the ladies of SMA, um, Alum, Danielle, Dee, Michelle, you guys all really helped me in really experiencing SMA. So when I landed, I was already on a high because I was like, I've been like waiting for this moment. And I'm a walker. So I walked all over and I got to meet people. I got to see the culture, the art, the architecture, the cobblestone um, streets and sidewalks, and just really experience it. So it was really lovely for me. And I'm kind of giddy and laughing because it was a new experience for me. I became a different person. So someone was teasing me that I'm not introverted. All my life I thought I was introverted, but something happened when I landed in SMA.
Carla was in these streets. I would text Carla at 12. I wouldn't get a response till 6. Maybe.
I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Maybe.
I was excited. I was meeting people. There was places I wanted to go, and I just felt really comfortable and kind of like at home, so I could visualize myself there. And my Airbnb was great. I also spent a couple of days at Casa Elm with Michelle. That was great. Met people there. So it was lovely. But I will say, I think it was lovely because I had so much information from the redefining life abroad and then working with you, Tracie, that really set the stage for me. So I knew what to expect. And then I knew what I wanted. I knew what I was looking for. I was looking for a place where I could be comfortable. I was looking for a place where there was good food, there was culture. I'm also like, I have a Spanish tutor. I want to learn the language. So I was looking for a place where I could just integrate and feel like I was at home, even though I'm an immigrant and I'm a foreigner. And that's what happened. So I give credit to, I know you say I'm an executioner, but you gave me list and I didn't know what else to do. I mean, I thought when somebody gives you a checklist, that list is so you can check off. So that's what I did. That's just kind of, I guess, my nature. I didn't realize about myself, but yeah, I tend to get things done when someone gives me an assignment. I take it seriously.
So now, since you are back in the States, how are you adjusting?
Hmm. Um, this is just a temporary spot until I make my my final decision. I mean, so for me, I was going to move from the United States no matter who was the leader. My decision to leave the States had nothing to do with who was in control of the presidency. I always knew that I'm approaching retirement, and I always knew that as I approached retirement, I was going to leave here. I've never wanted to die in the States. I kind of have always wanted to be abroad, and I've lived abroad before and I liked it. So this has always been a plan. So for me, and some of the issues and here at home, they're not things that can be fixed in a short period of time. They're things that it's going to take potentially centuries for these things to be, because it's systemic. So that didn't really have a lot to do with my decision. So now being in the States, it's really about continuing to execute the plan and finalizing the plan and fine tuning. So fine tuning my resources to make sure that I'm going to be comfortable. I still have to, work with D to make sure that my investing is smart so that I can make my resources grow. I have to finalize, like, getting rid of some of the bigger things. My house is on the market. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my cars, those kind of things. My house is empty, so I don't have to worry about that stuff. It's just these minor things that I have to kind of tidy up. Um, I feel like I got the temporary residency on the US side. And I have to complete it on the Mexican side. I've already been in touch with people on the Mexican side to make sure that that's going to happen. So it's really about fine tuning and finalizing and completing what I've already started. And then after I get settled with that, I'm going to pursue residency in other countries just because I'm interested in being a global citizen. But I do think that SMA, when I get to that point where, I'm retired and SMA is my home base, I'm really comfortable with saying SMA is going to be my home base. And then I'm going to like travel and explore other places. So I'm looking forward to it. And I just can't thank just, you, Tracy, and the ladies in SMA, because you gave a wealth of information. I really think the reason why I was able to execute was because you gave me a list. I took the list seriously. I knew what I wanted. I am pretty in tune with myself and my needs, and once I make a decision, I don't really need to think about it. I kinda once I know and it feels right, I'm gonna go forward with it. Even though it feels scary, it does feel scary, I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of new territory for me, and, I do have those butterflies in my stomach kinda consistently, but I just
Mhm.
through it, and I think about other parts of my life where I had butterflies. I probably wouldn't have ever become a lawyer, if I let fear get in the way. I'm
Mhm.
the first to go to college in my family and the first to become a lawyer, so I'm kinda used to being the first to do things, and I'm the first to make the decision to leave my home country and go somewhere else, so, um,
Same.
yeah.
Yeah, and this is what I think too about the blueprint. One of the things that we know about Black women is that we lead movements. That is just something that we have done throughout history. Women, primarily Black women, have led movements and changed societies. And when you see, to me, when you see a whole bunch of Black women doing something, it's like, wait a minute, hold on now. I need to learn what the hell is happening, because we have a way of being tapped into things
Right.
from an energetic standpoint that a lot of people are not. They don't have that level of connection. And when you see, it seems like a herd. It was like, hold on, I need to kind of pay attention to what's going on. And one of the things, again, that continues to surprise me, and I'm glad that you stated this because I too felt the same way. It shouldn't matter. And granted, it gets harder depending upon certain policies that are put in place, and then also the emboldened culture of the others. But it should not matter about what you want for yourself and how you want your life to be designed and how you can forge the way, and about being the blueprint of the next generation of your family. Somebody has to see you do it first.
Mhm.
Somebody in your family has to see you do it first. You text me while you were here about your daughter, and I was like, yes, something that you had shared with me about her. And I was like, yes, but she had to see you do it, and she had to also feel whatever it is, come to some conclusion. But we are forging the way, and we continue to do that. We are the pulse. Black women are the pulse. We are the heartbeat of the universe. And when you are connected to a Black woman and you listen to Black women, then you can take heed and apply that information and the movement to your life.
Yeah. It makes me think about, oh, yeah, our intuition is really strong. It makes me think about, like, Harriet Tubman too, and so many other Black women who led the way as we were trying to strive for freedom, and I think you're right, like, we tend to be the leaders. I mean, we're even holding this country together, even though people won't give us credit for it. We're holding it together. I mean, we were basically running the plantations, maybe against our will, but we were running those plantations. And so here we are again, forging away the second wave of a freedom for Black people to understand that you don't have to stay in a country that doesn't love you. You just don't. And anyway, I didn't select the United States. I just
That
happened
part.
to be in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and we did not select that, and neither did our parents or our grandparents. And so, as a result, I think now when we think about our ancestors' wildest dreams, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. If we are leading the second wave, as you say, we are living our ancestors' wildest dreams. We are able to do something that they could not have done when back then. But now that we have the opportunity, it's really about let's execute this plan.
Yep, yep. And I think I mean, if they're looking down on us, they're probably really proud that we are taking this opportunity to leave and not just stay within circumstances in which we feel like we're on plantations and we're being treated as if we're unworthy and not valued, even though we've made tremendous, you know, contributions to this country and to the world, really. I mean, the world has been, kind of built on the backs of Black people. The people
Mhm.
don't like to admit that, but
It
they
is
have
what it is.
indigenous people as well. And so, we've really contributed greatly. And I saw that a little bit in San Miguel, like the culture of Black people were there too. And
So
yeah.
let's talk about community. Let's talk about community. Why were you ghost? You was in these streets, but you were in these streets because you found your community.
Yeah.
You not only found your community, but you created community at the same time.
Yeah. So I was seeing Black people, walking on the streets. And if I saw someone, I spoke and I went up to them. Hey, I'm Carla. This is my first time here. Who are you? What are you here for? And I met a woman named Tina who was a client of Michelle's. And when I met her, probably a couple of days after I arrived, we ended up seeing each other every day that we both were in town and hanging out and having dinner and meeting with other women who were in town. Either they were in town because they were house sitting or they were just visiting for the first time. And before I knew it, we had a group of women who we were there for the first time or they were there house sitting. And we were just hanging out and doing things together. I was able to connect some women who had been to San Miguel before, but hadn't connected with Bobby. So connected them with Bobby, and they've gone through neighborhood tours, and now they're feeling confident about their next steps of potentially, renting in San Miguel. It was really beautiful. It was a beautiful connection with African American women who had made decisions about where they were going in life, and that the U.S. wasn't going to be the place where they resided. It may be a place where they had a home, but they wanted to explore the world. And SMA was one of those places where they wanted to maybe plant some roots. And we were sharing that moment together where we were making decisions and trying to sort out what this was going to look like. But yeah, it was really beautiful. I can't say enough. And the women I met, Black women are gorgeous, smart, and just some extraordinary people. And you see that when you're surrounded by them. So that was really beautiful too. Yeah, I can't say enough about it. And Michelle, gorgeous, lovely person that also she kept including me in some of her relocation events, even though I wasn't part of her relocation team, but she kind of adopted me, which was really beautiful too. I kept running into Alum. I think Alum thought I was stalking her, but I really wasn't. It was just kept running into her. It's like, who is this crazy lady that just keeps walking around, bumping into people? But I was just so excited. I know I was probably scaring people because I was so excited and I was bugging people. But it was only because I don't have that kind of community in the States. And it's interesting that I had to leave the country to find Black women that I just felt so comfortable with. I ran into Danielle a couple of times.
Danielle down these streets too. She is. She, Yvonne said we are the ambassadors for SMA.
Yeah, it was beautiful though. I was having a blast. I met a couple of dogs. I met this one dog and he was kind of weird. He started kinda coming at me for some reason. I was like, "What's up with that?" All the other dogs in SMA were so calm. I think he smelled th I had had salmon for lunch, and I think he
You want
smelled
to
salmon, he wanted the salmon. So I set it down and he was snubbing it, and I'm like, "Really?" Because now I can't eat it because I set it on the ground. But when I went into the facility and came out, the salmon was gone. So I felt really good that I had met a local dog.
one of the things you'll find is
Make
that
all kind of connections. I met a local dog. I met, some other pets that were from SMA. Um, and then I also starting up conversation with some of the locals. So
Mhm,
I got invited to some of the locals' homes, because I would just start a Spanish conversation, and it
mhm,
ended up in Spanglish because I'm still trying to acquire the language. But it was just too I was just having a blast, and I wanted to take full advantage of the opportunity, and so I did. So I didn't let my what I perceived to be my introvertedness stop me from connecting with community, and community matters to me. It matters to me here at home.
mhm.
It's always been something I've wanted to try to build community. It's just weird in the United States for some reason, but SMA seems to be very open to accepting and embracing people and people who are different. And I've always been an outcast, always been different, and that didn't seem to matter in SMA. So I was
I think there's a lot of truth to that too, because I know, like for those of us who have like feel that they're a little bit unlike other people, I know some of y'all in the comments can resonate with what I'm talking about. It SMA definitely pulls that kind of individual to it. Now, one of the things that I wanted to ask, what do you feel about people trying to recreate the life that they had in the United States in their move abroad process? Because what I do know about you is that you're doing everything completely opposite.
yeah, so my intuition and how I feel will really drive a lot of my decisions. So one of the things that is important is that as long as I'm comfortable, I'm gonna be okay. I'm not really trying to replicate what I have here. I'm just trying to be safe and comfortable wherever I go. And I really do want to embrace a new culture. One of the reasons why I've wanted to move away from the States is because I'm trying to force growth. I want to be challenged. I want to learn different cultures. I want to become fluent in another language. I want to
Right.
engage with the local community. I want to understand the history. I want to understand even the geography. Like, I'm curious about the landscape and the geography in Mexico. Like, those mountains fascinate me, those hills, the history, the Aztec community, all of that is something I want to know more about. So for me, I'm not interested in like necessarily carrying those things from the US to another place. I'm really trying to expand who I am as an individual and to
Mhm.
grow and to learn and to become someone new, and to it kind of expand myself. So I love the US and I love certain things about it, even with all of its dysfunction. But I think it's time for me to spread my wings and learn who I really am and what I'm capable of and expand my potential and maybe manifest some new things that I didn't even know I was capable of.
Right. I agree with that. I remember when we still lived in the States, I said to Honey, I was like, you realize this is as good as it gets if we stay here. Because we had checked all of the boxes. I had checked all of the boxes. We had checked the boxes. I said, this is as good as it gets. And part
Right.
of my reason for wanting to leave too was I wanted to put us in a position of learning every day.
Yeah.
We're forced to learn, like we're forced to learn new customs, new words every day, new numbers every day, because it's very transactional. And even when your brain doesn't feel like working, we are in a position where it has to work, it has to grow, because we're here. This is out of where we were raised. So I appreciate that you said that. So Kyoka has a question. She says, what about the people who say our ancestors have worked hard to earn a place here that we can't give it up? in the States?
I haven't given up. I'll always be a citizen of I haven't given up my citizenship. I've just
Mhm.
decided that I wanna be a citizen of the globe, and I feel like for me, I have a faith-based belief system in which I think as a child of God, the world is mine, and I can walk in any place as long as I do it appropriately and I follow the rules and don't offend anyone. I am supposed to I'm supposed to explore the world. I'm supposed to understand the world that I live in, and I'm supposed to spread my love and my light beyond the United States. That's what I'm here for. And I think Black women in particular, we have a special love and light that I think the world needs to see because we've been isolated in the United States and told that we're less than, and the world believes we're less than. But our light is something I don't think this world has ever really been exposed to, and now it's time for us to shine as bright as we possibly can, and maybe, it's time for us to rule the world.
Well, I definitely agree with that last sentence. I definitely, because I mean, imagine this place without us. It would not be because we are the prototype. We are the first. We are the Eve gene carriers. So therefore, everything comes from us. And I absolutely believe that we should be ruling the world. But I also think that's part of the reason why our powers are suppressed. And there's a lot of unknowing in who we are. And there's a lot of fear based in understanding who we are and where we come from because of colonialism and the way that we have been shielded and taught in the United States and then Western world, period. I
Yep.
absolutely believe that. Oh, thank you guys. Please like the video. I always forget to ask that. Please like the video. Please like and share with somebody else that you know would benefit from this. So now that you have landed stateside and you know your next steps, what
Mhm.
are you seeing for your life come the new year?
Yeah, so I'm hoping that in the new year, I will have completed, all that I need to complete for my Conhay, and I'll have my complete temporary residency. And I will have sold my house, and I will be preparing to shift my life to a life that's probably in both places, going back and forth a little bit, maybe.
Mhm.
Not absolutely sure, but I know that um, it's time to make that shift to a new place. It's time to start that new journey. But, America it'll always be my home. But at least it will always be my country of origin.
That's what I say. It's where I'm from.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's where I'm from.
It may
Yeah,
not be where I live, but it will always be my country of origin. My family is here.
right.
Um, my mom is still alive, so I will have to maintain some connection with that. I am trying to show my family that there is some other opportunities in other places. It doesn't have to be Mexico for them, but I
Right.
just want them to know you don't have to stay where you're not loved.
Right.
You
That
deserve better. We deserve better.
Yeah, and I think there is a collective awakening of knowing that we deserve better and
Mhm.
we earned the right to step into that. And so what I see now are a lot of Black women coming together in community saying, I'm not doing it, get somebody else to do it, which is good. Finally, we are
Yeah.
turning the yes on ourselves and the no to everything else that's not serving and not deserving of us. So I'm glad to see that collective movement. I know I can't go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say to try to answer, Kyoka's question directly. As far as our ancestors, I think that our ancestors, they they want us to expand. I don't think they would have expected us to stay in the States, even
I,
under these
I
circumstances. I mean, I don't think that that's what they want. I think they want us to have choice and to utilize that choice and to make this decisions that are best for us. But, remember Marcus Garvey, I mean, there were movements, you
mhm,
know, in our history where there were Black people who were telling us to leave, that we could have better lives outside of the US. Many of those efforts were sabotaged and maybe not captured in our history, but there were many people who tried to get us to leave much earlier and had ships available for us to like go back to Africa. So I think our ancestors, they want they I think they would be proud that we're doing this and that we're looking beyond the United States and spreading our wings And like I said, I think our light needs to be spread, and I think our ancestors support that. So I'm not
Mark,
getting into that idea that, oh, because we were slaves here, we have to stay here. I really don't like that argument, and I don't understand it.
I don't understand that logic whatsoever. I have not. What I don't like is consistent narrative that Black people have to always fight.
Do I want to practice law when, you know,
Yeah,
so
got you.
law school was great. Being a lawyer is great. Um, I would love to learn more of international law, particularly as I see us moving around, just in the event that we need it, that we, need someone who looks like us to understand international law and how that may impact our residency in other nations. So I think that once I acquire the language and I become more comfortable with it, I may start taking classes, legal classes, in Spanish. I may start to study international law a little bit, or at least um, identify a Black lawyer who understands international law so that we can have someone that we can connect with in the event that we need some specialized assistance as we are traveling the world, just to be prepared for unexpected circumstances.
Hmm. I think that skill set, that international law information and knowledge, and it coming from people who look like us is going to be a valuable asset come in the years forward. We're going to need more and more of that. We're also going to see more and more of that because there are going to be so many of us who are going to be global, and we're going to need the necessary information to continue to stay global.
Yeah, and we need to acquire the language so we can read, the legal documents in Spanish, or in French or whatever language is necessary. But I do think we're going to need a group of Black people who have those skill sets.
Yeah. So Yvonne is saying, I'm wondering if Black women will be given the credit of leaving the United States migration 30 years from now.
I'm looking forward to what that's gonna look like, 'cause, I mean, you have Black women, like, I think I mentioned to you, there's a Black family in Paraguay, and they're
Yeah.
actually, like, flourishing there, and I've
Yeah.
wondered, like, "Well, what will that look like?" Their
Yeah.
kids are going to school there, they're building community there, they do consultations as well, and then there's Blacks in Spain, there's Blacks in France, I mean, there's Blacks in Albania, I mean, we're really moving around the globe, and what will that migration bring? Like I said, I think it's going to bring a lot of love, light, and culture, and make the world a better place. But I'm biased.
I'm biased too. I'm biased too. Any last words before we close out today? And you guys, thank you so much for joining me on my final Friday Night Live of the year because I am going to rest. Any last things? Yes, there's plenty of organic food here because it often comes straight from the farmer. So it's very easy to find whole food here.
The food
Um,
is excellent, by the way.
any last words, Carla, before we close out?
Only that if it's, just understanding who you are and what you want, and then finding that place, but working through your fear, it is scary, but it's okay.
Mhm.
You're gonna be just fine. Just work through your fear. Think about other times where you wanted to accomplish something that was really scary and you did it. You worked through that fear, and then you look back and you're like, "Oh, I did that. Even though I was scared, I did that." It's just like that. I mean, and force yourself to grow, force yourself to step into that fear and really go after what you want. And I will say it was beautiful on the other side. It was absolutely beautiful on the other side. When I got to SMA, absolutely beautiful. And the people were just as beautiful as they were on screen.
Oh,
So just do it.
thank you. Yay. Thank you so much, Christine. Yay. Thank you, Kyoka. Thank you, guys. So, you guys, I'm about to sign off and go eat some pizza because we ordered food because I'm not cooking nothing. And we getting ready to get into bed and continue watching Yellowstone, which I have absolutely grown to love this show because it's absolutely beautiful. Not to do a plug, but if y'all haven't watched Yellowstone, watch it. It's really, really
Okay, I'm gonna have to
beautiful.
watch
It's so like if you love horses and nature and land,
it.
oh, I mean the storyline is really good too, but
Mhm.
aesthetically it's just captivating. So I
Cool.
appreciate this. But thank you so much, Carla, for
Thank you
joining.
for having
And
me.
I'm glad that you can share your story that I hear often with other people because it's really about, I just believe when you educate a Black woman, you educate a nation, which is an old African proverb. All right, guys. So I will leave you guys on that note. Have a great rest of your Friday, and I'll see y'all in 2025. But I'm still in the social media streets. You can still find me. All right.
Bye-bye.